What is happening, everybody? Trey here, and today at Reactions to the Classics, we're going to be serving you up a selection of Ron Sexsmith's some of his work throughout his varied career here. And I want to shout out B. Mac, who first introduced us here at RTTC to Ron Sexsmith with his debut record, which there's a full track-by-track review up of that if you'd like to check it out. Also, shout out to his daughter Evelyn, who watched it shortly after it was released. I thought that was really cool. And hey, Evelyn, if you're watching this, what's up? And anyway, man, we'll just get kind of into this and a little bit about Ron Sexsmith as well. Just if you're not familiar with him, he's not overly popular in the States, and so just always like to highlight these talented individuals that I think are vastly underrated or at least underknown. So Ron is a Canadian singer-songwriter in the Songwriter of the Year and the 2005 Juno Awards. He began releasing recordings of his own material in 1985 at the age of 21 and has since recorded 15 albums. He started a band at 14 and started playing at a bar at age 17, where he gained a reputation as, quote, the one-man jukebox for his aptitude in playing request. That's a great nickname right there, and already kind of showcasing some of that talent that Ron has. Ron's songs have been performed and recorded by a number of well-known musicians, including Elvis Costello, Feist, Rod Stewart, and Emmylou Harris. B-Mac noted that what we're about to unveil here, we got 14 songs going around 45 minutes or so. He noted that this is not so much a greatest hits list, but rather a selection that shows Ron's brilliant songwriting, melodic strengths, whom Elvis Costello compared Sexsmith's melodic purity and insight to that of Paul McCartney in his heyday, and also showcases some of Ron's diversity here. The first song on this list is going to be Strawberry Blonde, which occurs right after, or on the album Other Songs, which occurs right after the debut that we did of him. So Bruce had that there just for a little bit of continuity, and then after that it's just gonna kind of be a nice blend and selection. He also did a list, B-Mac did, of Bruce Cockburn, another Canadian great that is vastly underrated, I guess you could say, especially here in the States. So that was fun. Here's just some comments as well that Bruce dug up on Ron just from various articles. Ron's often referred to as the songwriter, and shared the stage with the likes of Robert Plant, Emmylou Harris, Elvis Costello, people like Gordon Lightfoot, Rod Stewart, John Prine, Elton John, Bob Dylan, David Bowie, Paul McCartney are all big fans, and yet he's never really had a big radio hit. And then to kind of highlight this, there's a funny story that Don Kerr, who did a record with Ron, said that they toured with Coldplay, and it drew into stark contrast the financial disparity between a musician like Ron and an act like Coldplay. Kerr noted, the funniest memory for me is when we were all eating dinner together. Chris Martin, who is the lead man of Coldplay, was asking Ron all kinds of questions because Ron was one of his songwriting heroes, and Ron mentioned that he writes a lot of songs at the laundromat. Chris asked, don't you have a washing machine at your house? Ron replied, I don't have a house. I rent an apartment. I can't afford a house. And Chris Martin looked like he was going to faint. I think that, again, just highlights the unfortunate nature of whenever you can be so talented and, kind of a pure, as earlier noted, a songwriter, and some of that fame doesn't, and success and financially doesn't come whenever it should, when you look at some of the other people kind of topping the charts and whatnot. But that's why I'm glad we're going to be highlighting Ron today. Again, shout out to B-Mac for putting this list together. I'm really looking forward to it. And as I mentioned, we're going to start this thing off with Strawberry Blonde. This came out in 1997, as I already noted, from the Other Songs record. Album won the Juno Award for Roots and Traditional Album of the Year. So that's a big time. Got that acclaim there. As always, I'm going to have the lyrics pulled up for all of these tunes. Going to be following along, especially with how great a lyricist that I know Ron to be. I only know one song on this list, which is coming up in a few tracks here. But besides that, everything will be a first time listen. So let's get our headphones on, y'all. let's get ready to see the selection of Ron Sexsmith. Let's get it. All right, this list starting off, Strawberry Blonde, man. We're starting off on a ridiculously strong foot. Already got to favorite that. Wow, what a gripping story this is. Musically, melody was very, very pretty and a soft delivery here by Ron on the vocals, which I think gave to that kind of tender nature of the track, talking about this girl who's not the girl next door, Noten. And I like, too, that we actually named her. Her name was Amanda. A great imagery here, pretty eyes of green and hair of blonde, strawberry blonde. And Noten, young kid, tail age of 9, and then we get introduced to her mother and just kind of some of the living conditions that she's living in. And as time's going on, now we're in summer, this or that, then we note her mother had lost her will to gin and sleeping pills. It was no life for a little girl. And then we kind of flash to the present with Ron Noten. Still, I see her face framed in blue sky at the top of a slide coming down. And when the sirens wailed, her mother had failed to rise. Woo! Just kind of that childhood innocence playing on the slide with her mother, from what I'm reading, taking her own life. But yet, there's a happy end to this story, y'all, which, again, I thought was just a wonderful songwriting technique by Ron here. He notes that he'd forgotten all about her. How many people who are so integral in our lives, in those elementary school years, and then, life moves on and you forget all about people, and yet he saw her with her daughter. He said, I heard Amanda say as she got up, come on, Samantha girl, this is our stop. And they were gone, 2 Strawberry Blondes. So it's good to know Amanda was able to move on through the tragedy of her life and have a daughter of her own. And now we got 2 Strawberry Blondes. So that was just an excellent, excellent way to start this list off. Quite enjoyed that one. That might be in the running. It will be in the running for my favorite tracks that I'll choose at the end here. And we will now move on to the next selection here that B-Mac made with the track Whatever It Takes from the Retriever record in 2004. This Juno award-winning tune is one of Sexsmith's most popular. A version was even recorded by the great Michael Bublé. That's pretty tight. So let's see what we got here. All right, Whatever It Takes. I'm already liking the list because obviously we see it's many years later from Strawberry Blonde, and we kind of have a more sophisticated arrangement, especially with the strings kind of coming in there, and just a little bit more of a full, richer sound there, and again, showing how Ron can go with those more stripped back ballads, or with a song like this that has a little bit more pizzazz kind of surrounding it. And here again, there's some positivity kind of brimming through even a dark situation, as we saw on Strawberry Blonde as well. He notes just from the get-go, we've all been hurt by love. It's out of our hands, but for all it's worth, I'm drawing a line in the sand. Another morning just won't do. I need your love to shine on through, or it won't be new. So again, he needs this person's love to shine on through, to really kind of get him through the day. And he knows he's going to do whatever it takes. Just very simple, to the point. I'm going to do whatever it takes, my love, to put the lonely days behind us. I'm laying it down, whatever it takes, my love. And we kind of just build on that in the rest of the track here, and just a song that had some bright moments musically as well. It seemed, with some keys kind of popping in there, and just all in all, a track that almost inspires you to just go with your lover and take on the world, almost, in a sense, man. So I enjoyed this one, and now we're gonna go to the next track on here, These Days, from the record Cobblestone Runway, rather. So let's see what we got here. All right, These Days coming in as our third selection here, and again, showing a different side of Ron here. We almost had a blend of like soul and gospel at certain points here, with those backing doo doo, and harmonizing that we had in there. I thought that was an excellent touch to just kind of accentuate what Ron was talking about here, and just another wonderful set of lyrics talking about how love has almost been perverted in our modern context. He notes, "But love is not some popular song filled with empty sentiment. That's what passes for love these days." He notes that it won't take a miracle, darling. Just keep it real. The world can make us cynical. Ain't that the truth? I mean, this was written in 2002, and as we sit here almost 2 decades later, I think we're just all a lot more cynical than we used to be, just through social media and just the world and news in general, just always seeming to bring you down. That you think, I don't think true love can exist anymore. But I enjoyed what he also wrote, though. He's honest, saying that where are we at here? No one can complete you or make you whole, but love will come to greet you halfway. Though no, the streets are never paved with gold. Promises are made to be broken. Haven't you heard? He said he'd never break your heart. Now, haven't you learned? You believed in the words and all that they meant. So he kind of notes here a little realistically that love's not going to complete you. Hey, you've been burnt by other people before, and yet it'll come and greet you halfway, and it still can be beautiful. So quite enjoyed that one as well, man. Ron's killing the game so far. And now we're going to go to, from his record Blue Boy, this song from 2001. This actually opens the album, and Sexsmith's former label Interscope refused to release the album, but Ron was eventually able to license and shop it, and it was recorded in Nashville over 6 days only, produced by Steve Earle and Ray Kennedy. Earle encouraged Ron to record a stylistically diverse set of songs that he normally would omit from albums, and was critically quite well received. All right, this song, which again, we've had 4 songs, all of them have shown Ron in a different style, and this is no different, especially obviously with those horns being the most obvious differentiation here, and the layered vocals as well were a wonderful touch as well, and the subject matter in general, just about how a songwriter goes about writing a song, and almost the meta nature of how just self-reverential this track was, saying, "I brought a song into this world, just a melody with words. It trembles here before my eyes. How can this song survive?" I really just get into the heart, I think, as a creative person. Ron's saying, hey, I'm kind of got the outline of what this is going to be, yet how can this song survive if I'm going in not only trying to complete it as a song itself, but then also get it out into the world so that others can hear it and hopefully emotionally connect to it in some way. And he even notes, "I see the game I'm up against. No wonder I feel so afraid. For every song you've ever heard, how many more have died at birth?" That was my favorite line in the entire song, and something that you never really think about it. For how many great hits there are from this artist or band, how many songs have they tried to work and play with that just never amounted to anything, man. It takes a lot of talent, hard work, and time to usually brew up a nice hit like this track here, man. This song, just a one that impressed me, and quite enjoyed that lyrical content as well. And now we're going to go to the only song on here that I know, Believe It When I See It, from Long Player Late Bloomer, released in 2011, his 12th record. Had a lot of Juno Award nominees, and it's notable for being produced by heavy metal producer Bob Rock, best known for his work with Motley Crue and Metallica. Before this, Ron was followed actually by a camera crew for the recording of the record, which resulted in the film Love Shines, which documents Sexsmith's attempts to turn his niche following into mainstream success by recording the album with Bob Rock. And Long Player Late Bloomer spent a total of 3 weeks in the UK official album chart, so it did have a little bit of success there. So let's enjoy this one, man. I dig this one quite a bit. All right, Believe It When I See It, coming in here as track number 5 on B-Mac's list. And the reason I've always enjoyed this song, I believe B-Mac showed it on one of the live streams, and from that first time I heard it, that chorus just stands as so strong, so so catchy, and in a sense of seeing. If seeing is believing, I'll believe it when I see it. Just the way I think Ron's able to kind of build off of the seeing and believing concept is very impressive, and the way the music itself kind of crescendos up and climaxes to that point is quite nice. It's coming off of a more light. Kind of instrumentation in the verses before that. So you can already see kind of that more rock-centric style coming through here in that chorus. That the guitar work was especially impressive, and I like that sense of, man, if heaven, well, if seeing is believing, he notes too. As for peace and love, well, if seeing is believe it, I'll believe it when I see it. Noting the harsh realities of our world, and yet still holding on to that hope of maybe there is peace and love down the road, man. And I like right towards the end of the track. And when faced with a difficult decision, would you listen to your heart or mind? We're bound to waste all our free will and ambition if we got no vision and we got no spine. And as for peace of mind, and then it goes into the chorus once more. This will not be, little spoiler, this will not be the only song from this record, so stay tuned for that. We're going to head back now to Retriever and the track Tomorrow in Her Eyes. All right, Tomorrow in Her Eyes, throwing it back to that piano ballad here, and again, a little hints of strings as well, but quite poetic yet again in that lyricism of that whole concept. I see tomorrow in her eyes, and where my future lies, I don't need a crystal ball at all because I've seen tomorrow in her eyes. So looking into this gal's eyes, he can see that, hey man, we're gonna be together. He even notes, whatever life throws at us, even if it takes us apart for a while, I'm going to be dreaming of you, and that kind of using that to fuel me, to get me through the day. And he again holds that hope. Someday soon, love, there will be time for you and I, love. Again, another strong vocal performance here by Ron that weaves effortlessly with that piano that he enjoys using, at least in that kind of earlier work that I know of him, man. So enjoyable tune right there. And now we're going to go to The Impossible World from the record Exit Strategy for the Soul. We're going to skip ahead here from the last track a few years to 2008. Wow, another just wonderful display of songwriting here by Ron. Those themes, again, coming up that we've had on this list as we hit the halfway point here as track 7 of 14. That concept of, man, this world looked so good as a kid or whatnot, and it just seems kind of beyond repair. We've had that kind of with the relationships as well, and now we're kind of going broader in scope to the world as a whole. Kind of noting out, Lord, if you will, lend me your ear. And then he kind of goes into what he's been seeing in those complaints. He says, can we summon the will, come up with the faith? There are those who say we haven't got a prayer, nor have we the strength to bear this impossible world. And then he cries out even to death. He notes, like, how many tears are going to have to be shed here until we learn that we need to share and kind of help your fellow human out. And then he goes back and says, when I was a child, I opened my eyes and beheld a world of possibility, though now all there seems to be is an impossible world. Again, that maturation process, you grow up, you look around, and you kind of figure out how harsh the world can be, man. And all this over another gorgeous piano melody and a strong vocal delivery by Ron, man. Quite enjoyed that one. That's added to my Spotify list right there. And now we're going to go to yet another record from 2017. We have The Last Rider and the song Breakfast Ethereal. So let's see what we got here. All right, Breakfast Ethereal coming in as the latest entry on this list here, 2017, and you could tell that again, Ron not playing it safe here, even at the later. As he's deep into his career, man, he's playing with a bunch of different sounds here. That explosion of sound at the very end was one of the highlights, not only on the song, but I think on the list as a whole up to this point. And just the way he was able to kind of shift speeds in here, almost had a bit of a psychedelic little time out at one point in the middle of the track, which again just shows the diversity that he can go with, man. And it's funny that we were just kind of talking about on The Impossible World, that whole, growing up and you kind of see the world for what it is. We kind of return to that theme here, and noting just as a child, growing up, just kind of having that joy, waking up every day to love and a bowl of breakfast ethereal, and just the way he delivered that line was really tight and catchy. And then just kind of going through that, asking those questions, man, what have we lost from childhood to now? And he notes that, man, remember that first time we saw with our own eyes, and then he kind of goes again into that great imagery that we've seen on this list, talking about the leaves falling at the feet, the trees. He says, I'd love to wake up again and imagine it all through the mind of a child. I mean, he's explicitly kind of laying that out for us here, and I think we all have those days where we'd like to be 8 years old again and have the not have those pressures and stress of the world all on us, man. So awesome tune. And now we're gonna go back to I Said It Was Coming, man. I Said It Was Coming. We're going to the opener of Long Player Late Bloomer here with the Get in Line. Poor Ron in this track, man. He's down and out. Everybody is against this, man. I believe we even had the accordion up in there. Not my favorite instrumental, just being honest in here. Didn't connect with it as much as the previous tunes on this list, but hey, man, not everything's going to work for everybody. I'm sure this is a favorite for a lot of people, but I did again like that lyricism, talking and just kind of painting that picture of a guy who things are just not going his way. People are not vibing with him, not giving him the benefit of a doubt here, and he says, you want to give me a piece of your mind? If you intend on making me feel bad, you best get in line. There's already a long line of folks who are ready to lay in to poor Ron Sexsmith here. And man, it still had some qualities that I enjoyed and were catchy, but just with a list this strong, won't be up amongst my favorites at the end of the day here. But we're gonna move now to the next song here. We got Grim Trucker from the record Time Being. It's his 10th record, released in 2006, produced by Mitchell Froom, who is produced for the likes of Paul McCartney, Peter Gabriel, Suzanne Vega, who he once was married to, Roy Orbison, and Bob Dylan, etc. I just thought that was a cool trivia note to note as well, and again showcasing the heavy hitters that Ron is partnering with. All right, Grim Trucker, bringing, saying true to its name, bringing a little bit of grimness up in here musically. We had a bit of shifts here and there, and yet it flowed so effortlessly from kind of one sound to the next, again, it kind of had a bit of that darker edge to it, whereas most of Ron's music is a bit more, I guess, pretty in a sense. This had showed a little bit, for lack of a better term, of that grimness, man. It really fit the lyricism here. And again, kind of talking about that childhood nature as well, sending the kids off to school as they go to a greasy, grimy old building with a rusty golden rule. I just thought that was well put, man. And notes, fill our face with eggs and bacon while this question weighs on our minds. Will we wake to wings up in heaven, or to hooves and snout in our next life? Again, that what's going to happen to me after I die question coming up, and those grand themes and topics that Ron isn't afraid to tackle, man. And he says, some say if we get it right in this life, then we never come back. And just the way that almost ended out the track, man, into that fade out, probably my favorite part, man. And it was like all the angst that was built up throughout the track was able to just come out through there. So again, another another enjoyable tune here. And now we are going to go back to The Last Rider with the track here. Remember from 2017, we have West Gwillimbury. Hopefully, I didn't butcher that too much. I probably did, but let's see what we got here. West Gwillimbury. Another tune here, man, that we had the banjo at the end where there was a really tight moment instrumentally where it almost felt like a slide guitar, and then mixing with again a quite gorgeous piano melody here. And just again breaking it down, I was kind of looking in the song. West Gwillimbury is a town in south central Ontario, so obviously Ron is well familiar with this town since it's near where he was born and grew up. And again, we turn to yet again that theme of growing up, breaking free from childhood, and kind of wishing to go back. And again, he's just setting some wonderful imagery of West Gwillimbury, and he says the ghost of childhood waiting up for me in West Gwillimbury. And he says, when my life's becoming all work, no play, and nature's son has lost its mother. I thought that was a cool shout out. Had to be to Mother Nature's Son, right? For the Beatles track? I don't know, man, but that's what I was getting there. He says, I'll slip the noose of this old rat race to sing my song on a porch swing, brother. The world is out there waiting just for me in West Gwillimbury. Again, liked what Ron was doing instrumentally here, and that theme of nostalgia of that place where you kind of cut your teeth and grew up with. We all have our own West Gwillimbury, and that's is something we can kind of apply to ourselves here. So, like that, man. Now we're gonna go real early to the track "Spending Money" from Grand Opera Lane from 1991, his debut independent release. I said his self-titled was. I might have erroneously said that was his debut. That was his major label debut from Interscope, but this was his true debut record here. So we're gonna go from one of his latest releases in 2017 all the way back to 91. Let's see what we got. Wow, Spending Money, throwing it all the way back to 91, which I mean, you would have no idea based off of his next record, from 95, the self-titled one, which is, for the most part, pretty kind of stripped back. And here, man, he sounded very mature and older, and we got a little almost, kind of jazz fusion-esque thing with the saxophone really going in this track, and a strong bass work. And man, that just was totally not what I expected. I expected a very stripped back sound, just since it was so early in his career, man. And wow, that was impressive right there. And we don't have as deep a lyrical, story and songwriting as we've had up to this point on the list. But hey, it's those early days, man. Again, getting that concept that many can get behind. Man, I wish I had some extra spending money, dude, that I could spend on who? On my love, on you. He says the story's sad, but the ending's funny. We've got to see it through. He just kind of plays on that idea. Definitely the highlight for me was that instrumentation here, and that was just cool to see him way back early in his career there. And we only have 2 songs left, y'all. It's flown by. We're going back to 2017 now. Going back to The Last Rider with the track Radio. Kind of interpreting it a little self-explanatory, yet also I think there's a deeper message kind of brimming underneath just how the world has changed in general. He notes strongly for Ron here, man. He seems like a nice guy, but he says the clowns are running the circus. The show is run-of-the-mill. They picked all the berries that grew on Blueberry Hill. And then he just kind of goes into the shameless and the appalling have sunk things to a new low. What has become of the world that we used to know? So, just kind of in a broad sense, and then really honing in on what the radio and I think just the music industry as a whole, he's, thinking back, again, kind of on that nostalgia theme that has popped up so often here, dreaming about the good old days when he just enjoyed sitting by, listening to the radio, man. And I think kind of highlighting how the world has, gone crazy, so to speak, and so is the music industry and what's on the radio now. I am obviously not as old as Ron, but I remember growing up. Boom! What would you do? You'd listen to the radio to get your music fix in, man, and you'd like pretty much everything it seemed you would hear. And then of course, Apple comes along with the iPod and iTunes, man. Then you would go and just get what you want specifically there. And now, of course, with Spotify and all the streaming services, I never listen to the radio just because I can plug my phone into my car, listen to whatever playlist I want, whatever album I want. So that is sad in a sense, that the radio has diminished in that regard, man. But we have Ron here to help us kind of get in our feelings and nostalgic, and wish that maybe the radio was a bit better than it was nowadays, man. And cool instrumental track. Didn't do anything to blow me away or anything in that regard, but just the whole vibe and message that he was sending, I enjoyed. And we're gonna end it off, ladies and gentlemen, with Love Shines, the same title as the documentary that came out following the Long Player Late Bloomer record from 2011. And then afterwards, wrap up, give my favorite tracks. All right, Love Shines. What a way to end out this list. I'm sure B-Mac did that intentionally here. It's the penultimate track on Long Player Late Bloomer, and definitely has that feel to a closer, though, man. And again, a couple different themes going on here, talking about in every nowhere town, there are somewhere dreams patiently holding out to grab the brass ring to see their dream come true. Sends a spark through a dark end of the mind till light appears and happy tears. That's where my love shines. Great rhyming in there, and that concept, no matter where you are, you can kind of have that dream and hold out, and also no matter where you are, you can find love, and those ideas kind of converge in this track here, and Ron is able to very poetically kind of bring that together, and the music has a bit of a triumphant sense to it as well. That ear for melody that Sexsmith has is quite strong on this song, and is one that I enjoyed, man. I definitely had to add it to my list here, and I like that positive nature. Again, recognizing Ron does, just as we're kind of wrapping up here, recognizing the harsh realities of the world, and yet still trying to put a blend of positivity out there. So now to my favorite tracks, man, just taking it from the top, I'll go with Strawberry Blonde, Believe It When I See It, The Impossible World, Grim Trucker, and then Love Shines. Those will be my top 5 from this list, man. But there wasn't a song on here that I didn't like, man. There were some I didn't like as much as others, of course, but just showcasing that great lyricism that Sexsmith can write, along with those arrangements that vary from soft piano ballads to maybe triumphant horn sections, to those strings, to more kind of psychedelic almost at times guitar work in the different tracks here. Just showed that he can play with any team, so to speak, man, and he can weave in and out of all these genres seamlessly, and to have the career he's had over the decades, and to continue to keep that creative output going, man, that's impressive. So thank you to B-Mac for bringing this list. Let me know your favorite tune on this list, y'all, down in the comments, as well as your favorite Sexsmith tune if it didn't make this list. And until next time, thanks for watching, happy listening, and I'll see you next time.